Okay. So what we will do is we will work in our individual model folders. Okay. So these are the standard ones which we can see it over here. Then individual model folders are also coming over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I will just sort on. Okay. So this way we will have our respective objects to be found easily. Okay. And let's say I have created one, and if you want to copy that object, you can copy that and just put it into the folder of yours as by doing a save as. Okay. Now we'll start with the very basic session for today. Just allow me one more minute. But I think there's so much noise over here. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. Is there any noise coming from back end? Something is there?
slight, but that is okay.
Uh, okay. Bearable or
Bearable,
reduced?
not an issue.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So hey, hi Swapnil. I think we met third time or fourth time. I'm not sure. But so from today we will start the proper training of SSE. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, we have covered the very basic introduction on the last or very first introductory session before our doubt solving one, right?
Right.
And that point of time, I have provided you some terminologies within the SSE. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
would like to quickly recap that the whole page of, I mean, this page and this navigation bar of the
Mm-hmm.
SSC, and then we'll jump on to the today's few topics. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Now, as you can see, our SS is a web-based tenant application. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
once whoever is the user, they can join from the web, as well as there's a Excel add-in analytics cloud named,
Mm-hmm.
which will be there, but that is not yet user friendly. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
I'll just tell you. There's a
Excel
also
add-in, we need license for it, na?
sorry.
To use the Excel add-in, we need license, na?
That's no. Within the same license range, we can
Mm-hmm.
have that enablement of the SSE Excel add-in as well. Once sorry, what say customer is paying for the additional licenses or 20 licenses are coming with the standard purchase of the SSE tenant. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and as per the standard policy they are giving us two tenants, one as in dev or quality, and then another one for as in production. Okay, generally they
Okay.
gave us three tenants, but usually what due to limitation of licenses we usually prefer to combine dev and quality because we have the
Your
development team.
voice actually got blank.
Oh,
Mm.
am I audible now?
Now it's audible.
Acha. Okay.
And what are the versions supported?
Am I audible? Hello.
Yes.
I'm audible, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So I was talking, we are getting 20 licenses when we will start the tenant, okay? If the client is purchasing the SSE licenses, by default we are getting the 20 user licenses. Twenty licenses means the 20 user licenses. One
Mm-hmm.
license attached to each specific role, okay? now we have certain, so when I will cover the security part, I will tell you the whole scenarios. But as you said that there should be a separate licenses for Excel add-in. No, for Excel
Mm-hmm.
add-in we should not pay anything extra. It's just that enablement of that should be there, and then we need to add that particular
Mm-hmm.
add-in into your Excel. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now the thing is, I'll just give you the what was the earlier scenario. Okay, so earlier there was one module like BPC,
Mm-hmm.
business planning and consolidation. Okay,
Consolidation. Okay.
where we were doing planning as well as consolidation in one go. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
in one go meaning in the same module. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
where the EPM and this data manager was the add-ins where you we need to log in through Excel, and then Excel was their client interface. Okay, I
Okay.
mean this is the very orthodox understanding that usually we prefer planning to be done in the Excel, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why SAP came with a view that it will be linked with the um, uh, cloud. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but currently this BPC was very much what we can say stable. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but it was having many limitations. Okay,
Okay.
and based on that, SAC came into a picture where SAP came with the idea that SSC can be linked with any source model directly. So that intermediate link, so in BPC what we used to do, S4 to BW, BW to BPC, that was the path for the data. So any data which is posted in S4, I need to bring it to BW, I need to bring it to BPC. So that will take a bit time, that will not be on the fly, right? So not at the same moment. So now what happens if I will be on
So
a
we can have scheduling now. If you're saying that we need to do a setup as in kind of, and then from scheduling we will be having the data in it now.
Perfect. But then at not so for example, we have scheduled it at an 10 a.m. In the BW and 10:30 at an BPC. Okay.
Mm. Okay.
That means yesterday, if you have posted anything at an 11 a.m., that will be reflected in your BPC system tomorrow at an 10:30 a.m. Correct?
Mm. Right.
So there's a lag on this data. Now what happens if you have posted anything at an 11 a.m. and if we are using a live data model, it will be directly coming into the SSE on live.
But as we discussed now in BPC, you told that we will be using import connection now more frequently compared to live
In BPC or in SSE?
PPC.
Huh?
For BPC,
BPC
we'll
there
be
was no
going
live
for
data
import connection
connection.
now.
No, no, no. In BPC there was no live data connection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there was only acquired. BPC we have to store a data in BPC. Here
Mm-hmm.
there's an option. If there's a dashboard, okay,
Okay.
which what management want to see that okay,
Mm-hmm.
what are the revenues at a total level or at a lower level as well. They want to
Mm-hmm.
deep dive over there. In
Okay.
that scenario, we can use that live connection, and then at live connection, whatever is happen in S4 or any source system that could be directly fetched at the real time scenario. Okay, I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you what are the benefits they have incorporated within the SSC.
Okay. Okay. So live
Okay,
connection is kind of like a kind of an extra benefit which SSC gives compared to
exactly
BPC.
compared to BPC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
and they have also came to the this web based model where user the only interface, basic interface which we are having right now is an web interface. Okay,
Okay.
interface meaning this is the web interface and this is the Excel interface. Okay, now
Mm-hmm.
what I was trying to tell you is there is an Excel interface, there is an Excel add-in, but the updates and the way it is being currently uh, worked
Mm-hmm.
is not that much up to the mark. Okay, so there are constant upgradation done every quarter. We are getting certain new things within the SSC.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, SSC is currently still a baby tool for me. Okay, baby model for me. If we will see BPC and if we will see SSC, BPC is approximately 10 years old module, right?
It's a
More than
stable system kind of.
yeah, it's a stable module rather system. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and now SSC is just new. I mean, it's not that new, but now we
Mm-hmm.
have so many options. Now I could still list down certain points which
Mm-hmm.
which are still having some issues at an SSC level. Okay, we will
Okay.
so I will tell you also that okay, this is the limitation of SSC. So whenever
Mhm.
you will work, you will understand, okay, client is asking this is the limitation, boss. Okay,
Okay.
right? So that's
So
the one thing.
what I understand by live connection, as in we can replicate the model, and plus we can have the live connectivity, as in real time data can be extracted from it. No.
Exactly, yes, but that will be live, okay. uh,
Mm-hmm.
but we cannot perform anything on those data generally, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Live connection mainly used for the dashboard perspective, where we
Mm-hmm.
usually showcase those data. We
Okay.
can perform some things, but for the planning scenarios, as we need to store those data, right?
Mm-hmm.
Live
Right.
connection will not store data.
Mm-hmm.
Planning scenarios, we need to store data. That's why in planning scenarios we use a acquired model. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Coming back to the SSC, so this is the basic SSC screen. Now we have to get used of these terminologies like stories and input forms and those things. So I'll just tell you, okay. Now over
Okay.
here we have home, then we have files. Under files we will be having all the paths. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the one thing. Then we have a directly different apps button over here like stories. Okay. So let's say I have saved one story. I can go it from path. I can, if I want to create a fresh one, I can go to the stories and I can start a new one. Okay. You see,
Mm-hmm.
there is no recent ones. If I have opened certain recent one, I will be able to see that as well over here. Now,
Okay.
while creating a story, okay, there are certain options which will be there. Let us discuss them when we are taking that part. Okay.
Okay.
Then we will have analytical applications. This is something which about coding, but this now has been merged within the stories. Okay. So you see, when I will click on that, it will merge me into the story page itself, right?
Analytical application in the sense analytical designer
Yeah,
where.
here that
Mhm.
if you remember in the very first session,
Right, right.
I told you that there are certain scope of what we can say
Mm-hmm.
coding and all those things,
Mm-hmm.
right? We are having a JavaScript coding, so that will
Mm-hmm.
be part of this analytical application part within the story. Now earlier there was a two different tabs. Now they have merged an analytical application into the stories itself.
No,
Okay.
suppose that there's a dashboard and I need to have a button in a dashboard wherein if I click that button, then certain graph will be gone, and when I again turn it on, then it will show. So that kind
Exactly.
of thing can be done, no?
Yes, that
Okay.
will. Okay. Then we have data analyzer. So data analyzer is a step where we can do that. Once the story is there, we can have that data analyzer enabled, so that we can have multiple views of the same story. Okay. So from the existing model, if you will create a data analyzer, this will give you some breakups of your data in a way how management wants to see. So data analyzer, normally what we do is, once we will develop everything, if client wants some ad hoc story creation and then see the slice and dice of the data, they can see it from this. Okay.
It's kind of view, no? It's been
It's kind of, yeah,
kind of.
the view, that's what I'm telling.
Mm-hmm.
Slice and dice of the data means the view of a different view, the way
Mm-hmm.
you want to create for your data. Okay.
Okay.
There's a digital boardroom functionality as well. I think we discussed last time. It's something which we both can work together in something. Then there's a
Mm-hmm.
data sets, then there's a modeler. This is very important. This is the base of our planning scenarios whenever we will do a planning. Okay. So when that it's a modeler means the model is nothing but which will store all your transaction master data dimensions. That is the combination and storage of everything. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is called as a model.
And
So
as in,
model,
we also have schemas, no? Schemas in the sense star schema, snowflake schema, and galaxy schema. So all these three types of schema will be having, no? So that schema build up where we can see in this, as in relationships of multiple tables.
from modeler only, na?
Model.
Yeah. From modeler only, you'll be able to see
And
the
that is only in case of this import connection. We'll be able to see that.
Yep, yep, yep.
Because in live connection will be like virtually
No, no,
accessing
no,
the
no. There
existing
will be
model.
live model as well, na? But in that case, you see over
We
here.
don't need to create it now in live.
No, no, no. Live connection. Sorry, there will be live connection, and
Mm-hmm.
then usually what we do, live model will also be created. I understand your point. There are two scenarios. Okay, one
Mm-hmm.
is your report directly is based on live connection only. Okay, then
Okay.
the another scenario is there's a live data model which will fetch that data within the
Mm-hmm.
SSE model at a live, which will be the live, and then we will build a story on that live data model. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
Okay.
both scenarios. Yeah. Okay, then under modeler we have different things over here. Okay, so models is very first one. Then we have public dimension table. So whatever dimension we want to create, we need to create it over here. Okay, so I will just explain you okay, dimension is what? Dimension is nothing but a master data table. Okay, in a way that will hold your master data. So
Okay.
dimensions we need to assign to a model. Okay, so under model there will be different dimensions, and under dimensions there will be different master data or hierarchies. So that's the whole sequence we are having. Okay,
Okay.
then for the currency conversion, we have a conversion tab where we can maintain a currency conversion table, and based on that, a mapping to our model, that conversion will take place. Okay,
Mm-hmm. So
this
that
one.
mapping will be done manually, no?
Which mapping?
The currency conversion one which you told now
Hmm.
to the model you told, no? That
To
will
the
be
model, yes, obviously, because let's say there are two different models, and uh, okay, so we need, generally we have only one currency conversion table for across all models, but there could be a scenario where both the table, I mean different rates they want, right,
mm-hmm.
or a different way of working they want. When we I will tell you what currency conversion table looks like, you'll
Mm-hmm.
understand this part, that there could be a different model having a different conversion table as well. Okay, depending on the how currency conversion
Mm-hmm.
rules are built within the model. Okay,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
that will depend on everything. So
Okay.
this is that part. Then we have data actions. Data actions are nothing but if we want to
In
pull.
modeler that point of interest is not explained.
No, that's fine. Okay, I'll show you that as well. You see, that's why I didn't cover.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This-
Point of interest was nothing but there was a how I can explain, there was a facility.
Mm-hmm.
I mean earlier there was also one particular point of, I mean this is point of interest where you can, you know, have your files be stored at an SSE cloud level. Okay,
Okay.
so these generally we do not use because this is not that much usable functionality of SAC. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why we are not using this.
Okay.
Then we have a data action. Data action is nothing but the calculation, how you want to work. I mean, if there's any you want to perform any calculations, we will use data actions. Then we have
Mm-hmm.
allocations. This is the uh,
Allocation is into planning, no? I guess.
yes. So let's say there's a, so there are two ways to do that allocation within the SSE.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Allocation is nothing but, let's say you have a corporate level any cost. Okay, for example fixed cost, but that has to be bifurcated across all cost centers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So but there's no specific thing that okay this for example we are sitting in Mumbai office. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Mumbai office is having I mean there are HR who are sitting, there are consultants who are sitting, there are management people who are sitting, there are different plant locations people who are sitting.
Mm-hmm.
So that absorbs the cost of all cost centers like admin, HR, all those costs are there,
A
right?
department. Okay.
Departmental cost. But
Mm-hmm.
we cannot bifurcate. Okay, 30% will go to this. I mean, this person cost will go to this cost center. That way, it won't work. So what we will do, we will create some rules. For example, whatever the total cost, 20% will go to admin, 30% will go to HR, 2% will go to here, 2% will go to here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that way, the allocation process works. There could be many type of allocations could be possible. If there
Mm-hmm.
is some cost which is needs to be allocated across plant, okay, if we
Mm-hmm.
have certain cost
Okay.
which needs to be allocated across plants, in those scenario we need these allocation steps. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
then predictive scenarios. So this is
And
very
one more thing, that allocation will be like based on certain criteria, na? As in allocations will not be like as in I'm just deciding on some numbers and allocating it. So there will be certain factors defining the allocation, no?
there will be rules, that's what,
Mm-hmm.
there will be rules, and there will be steps defined by us to perform
Okay.
that standard allocation function. There
Mm-hmm.
are certain things which usually comes that okay, this is not able, we will not be able to do this within the standard allocation function. Then what we usually do is, if that is the case which is out of scope of the standard allocation functionality, then we will do a input form creation, where I will ask user to input their respective things in their respective combinations.
Mm-hmm.
And once they have inputted that, we will run that data action, so we'll manage through a data action.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is also possible.
And
So
that input also we can like have authentication kind of things going on in it, because certain users will be having that particular right now
that
to
will be
kind of
handled through security.
security. Okay.
Okay,
So that
I
will
will
be
just
also
show you.
done by us.
Yeah, definitely, it will come.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
it is over here. This
Mhm.
screen
Right.
only it will come. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, because let's say there is some uh, story which is an admin task and not the all users task, for
Mhm.
example, which you need to perform and not me. Then we will have an admin team which will have
Mhm.
you as an user, and we will give that access to only that admin team.
Mhm. Right.
Okay, so the team based, role based, and there is one more security layer at a model level which is called a data action profile, that will
Mhm.
also work together to give you some access. Okay, let's
Okay.
say we have three company codes, one is with you, one is with me, and one is with Shekhar, and
Mhm.
we want to perform we are having the same input form, but you
Mhm.
should not be able to see my company code data, and I should
Right.
not be able to see your company code data.
Mhm.
That will be handled through within. When we will create a model, there is one particular uh, what we can say setting comes which will have, which we need to enable for data access profile, which will give you that who needs to have this, which team needs to have this access.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, so that will be the restrictions. Then we have multi action. The way we have a data action, same
Mhm.
way the combinations of data actions can be clubbed, and we have some more steps within the multi actions, like we can lock the data, we can publish the data, we can so there are certain scenarios where only multi action will work and not the data action, right?
Okay.
Okay, and for example, in a very simpler manner,
Mhm.
data action will work on only one version, multi action works on a multiple versions. Okay.
Okay.
Then we have a calendar. Calendar is nothing but a schedulement of any tasks within the SAC. There are so many tasks. You can see the list of tasks available over here. We can have data action, multi-action task, data locking task. We have general task, review task, composite task. Then there's a whole process task. Under that, under which we can have multiple tasks, right?
Mhm.
And we can schedule this at any
Mhm.
point of time. We can have recurrence of this, I mean every day it will be that task will be executed. And within one parent we can first create a parent task, and then under that we have that child task, so that we can maintain the end time and start time automatically. That means that is the dependent task, correct?
Mhm.
So one task is done, then only second task will start.
And
That
like in BW, we are having like this two kind of abstractions, like two kind of connection, wherein we'll be going for full load and incremental. So that kind of settings will be having in it.
uh yes, we do have. We
Mm-hmm.
have I mean I know full load and delta load, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you are saying.
Right.
Generally what we as in transaction data, if you are talking, for example, for the actual loads, it will be always a delta load, okay, within
Okay.
the SAC, okay. And for the
Mm-hmm.
master data, we are normally scheduling it at an everyday level. In the real
Mm-hmm.
life scenario, I'm talking about. In the
Okay.
transaction data, we are scheduling generally as per the requirement,
Mm-hmm.
mainly every 4 to 5 hours a day.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say we have to bring the actuals within the SSC, right? So
Mm.
from one particular AC doc A model, right? In that
Mm-hmm.
scenario, we need to we will schedule it from to load that data into SSC from
Mm-hmm.
the AC doc A table, and we will load those data every 4 hours. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And what about the master data?
Same master data.
Yeah.
We can load it from S4. We can, if we want to load it from BW, we can load it from BW.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
Uh,
so that will be like a kind of a full load which you'll be doing.
no, that will be delta. Delta.
Delta.
I mean, very first time, obviously, it's a full load.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
there's a
after that,
setting
delta.
basically. There's a setting which we can
Mm.
enable or disable. Based on that, it will work.
Okay.
Okay.
That thing we can cover later on, no?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Within whenever I
Mhm.
will cover that master data part, we will cover it.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
So when we will say what I want to cover today is basically a modular part. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
how, because I will create one model which will be our base for the next trainings, right?
Okay.
Okay, so let's create one model. I will create with basic dimensions, and then I will tell you to create a model which will have different dimensions under that. Okay,
Okay.
and how you can define that, and then under dimension what we need to define, that also we will see. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this the what you are saying master data load part we will cover with the load, whatever transaction master data load functionality we will talk about, that time we will check. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
then we have security. Under security we have teams, roles, requests. Okay, now what
Okay.
is this? Okay, let me, sorry. Okay, so under security, we have teams, we have roles. Obviously, there are, in the real time there's users as well. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
as this is a dummy tenant, we are not having that user. I cannot add any users, obviously, right? That's why it's not
Okay.
coming. I can create multiple teams. We have roles. We have standard roles. We can add a customized roles in the tenant, right? These are the standard roles for analytics, analytic hub, and business intelligence are the standard roles. These are the planning related roles, planning professional and planning standard roles. And then you can have some customized roles as well. You can create
Mm.
the new creation is disabled in the dummy tenant. In real life, you can create new ones.
Okay.
Okay. I will try to give you some idea how we can create a new one, but we will check this in the security part, right? And then I think this is the connection tab. This is very important to set up any connection with any source. Now, the other benefit over here is
Mm-hmm.
here I can, even though this is the, for example, this is my dev tenant. Okay, there will be two tenants, for example, dev and then production tenant, right? Now,
Okay.
let's say in S4 they have, uh, for example, development S4, quality S4, and production S4. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I can create two connect or three connections over here, which will have a dev connection of S4, quality as well as production within the same tenant.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like this. If this is the dev, it will only connected with dev. In BPC, it was like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on BPC dev ten and dev tenant. I mean dev login. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. In that scenario, I can only connect with BW of development. I cannot log into BW of quality. Now, what is the benefit of that? Okay. In development, there is no much data. In
Mm-hmm.
quality, there is some data generally, and in production, there is a live data. Correct.
Right.
Now, what happens when I have established a connection at n quality? Production we usually don't prefer over here because all confidential data will be there in development, right?
Mm-hmm.
hands of the other people. So we usually don't create, or organization will also not allow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So quality, yeah, usually what happens every quarterly, we usually perform a quality matching of data from the
Mm-hmm.
production. So we usually take load the production data into the quality servers.
Okay.
Okay, every quarterly. So what
So that will be done by whom?
the respective team. So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, S4 data we're talking about, that will be done by obviously S4 team, right? If we're
S14.
talking
Okay.
about
Mm-hmm.
BW, that will be done by BW team. BPC,
Mm-hmm.
we need that way. We can take in BPC team.
Okay.
Okay, and then once the data is there within your source system, it will
Mm-hmm.
be easily available to you within the SS.
Okay.
Okay, and then there are certain configurations when we are creating a new one. So these are the basically the whole connection types. Okay.
And this will be our first step, no, into any project,
It is a
connecting the
simultaneous
system.
process. Yes. So generally, what happens, if I will tell you on the paper, this is the very first step. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The very first step is this. Okay. Activation of our tenant.
Okay.
Okay. Configuration. If we need to do a single sign on. Okay. Those things, configuration, all those things will be done first. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Connection is a simultaneous process because right now also I'm fine to create a model. You are getting my point.
Mm-hmm.
If there is no connection, the only thing is I will not be able to load the master data, transaction data. That's true, and that
Mm-hmm.
is very much required. But in real time, generally this, because this will take a bit time, bit configuration from backend perspective as well, from other team members like basis team as well. Cloud connector needs to be set up. All those things, steps needs to be performed, and once that is done, then only we will be able to get this connection set up, right? So this is
Mm-hmm.
very first step, yes, but this is a simultaneous process. Generally what happens, once the activation is done and whatever requirement we have, we usually start, I mean, if we two are the team members, one person will start working on the modular creation parts, huh? And
Mm-hmm.
a setup of the system part, the structure should be ready, and by that
Okay.
point of time, other person can work with the basis and all other respective teams to work on the connection settlement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because if
Okay.
this will take 10 days, we should not be wait for 10 days over here, right?
And the connection part.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so you are thinking that why it is taking a 10 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not, it never like easy bread and butter, Swapnil, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have a new organization which are coming over here, they do not know what process needs to be followed at an basis level also. Let's say
Okay.
we have consultant, but there, if there is some infrastructure limitation at an S4 level which we
Mm-hmm.
cannot develop a connection right now, then we will raise it to SAP. Or we will search for certain nodes, we will implement those nodes, and once that is done, your basis is ready, then cloud connection setup is done. Cloud connection setup might take a bit time, or it needs some response from SAP itself, where we will request that particular from cloud content and SAP will activate that. Okay,
Okay.
based on that we will go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the 10 days are really optimistic timeline. Okay, so
Mm-hmm. Okay.
okay. Okay, coming back to the modular part, I would like to cover something into the model at least for today. Okay, so these are all the things we are having in SSE. I just covered
Mm-hmm.
today again. Okay, let's
Okay.
create a scratch model. Okay, start with empty model. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that you will have an idea of what and how model should look like. Okay,
Okay.
so this is the model step. Once I'm into any of the object, I can just close this, so it will just get that, we'll have that model bigger screen. Now usually what we prefer is approximately 67 or maximum 75% of the zoom, and that way only we built the system so that these numbers and all these things will be in a proper manner. So if you
Mm-hmm.
see at 100 zoom in, This is very zoomed out, right? Now, if you will build any table, the numbers will be so huge and it will not be user friendly. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
generally we create all the objects either at 1075 or 67. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Why I'm telling you this is because if you will build your structure at 100%, you think that okay, if I will reduce it, it will be fine. But sometimes what happens, the alignments will be deferred. Okay. So if you
Mm-hmm.
have built your this at an 70% table is like this. Okay. Once you will zoomed out, it will be very lesser screen. And
Mm-hmm.
this will they will say okay, expand this, na, right?
Mm-hmm.
Till last.
So they'll try to adjust the view in terms of adjustment. Not everything won't be like aligned
No, no, no.
properly.
Everything
It
won't
does.
be adjustable. So the
Mm-hmm.
table width which you have defined, that won't be adjustable. The
Okay.
column width will be adjustable. Obviously, if there's a responsive page where you can I mean your page and
Mm-hmm.
everything will be settled based on the screen size. I mean your laptop screen size, or it will be compressed when you will see in the mobile, right? Those things will
Mm-hmm.
be there. But if you are
Okay.
saying that okay, at a 70 the table size should be this, and then it should automatically adjust everything, it will not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now this is the
Okay.
model. Okay. When I'm coming into the model, the basic two dimensions will be by default coming, which are version and date for the acquired dimension, acquired model. Okay.
Okay.
This is the details which we have. Right now we don't have anything. Preferences, nothing has been selected. So it is a
Mm-hmm.
blank. Whatever object you will create on this model will come one by one over here. So all your related objects of this model will be listed down over here. Okay.
Okay.
And your data sources as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now here what you we need to do is first we need to see the I mean check the preferences. Okay, that's the very first task, and we need to assign dimension and measures. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now what is dimension? So as you can see, the version is your one of the dimension. Okay, version
Mm-hmm.
is what? Your categories, like whether you are planning for your planning, your actuals, your forecast, your rolling forecast. All these are different versions of your planning data. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
can create a new dimensions over here. Now that what dimensions we usually create, right? Me put it into the Excel so that this will be the exercise for you as well, right? So
Okay.
two we already have. So generally, okay, do you think, I mean if you think, Swapnil, what should be the granularity of the data at which you will see your data?
Granularity in the sense aggregation. This aggregation part.
Not the aggregation part. Okay, for a couple of them, let me just give you the example. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so let's say I mean any organization would like to see their data at an profit center level.
Okay.
Then there could be a granularity of cost center depending on the data. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I do you know what is profit center and cost center?
Mm-hmm. I understand.
Understand, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have account, FS item, GL account.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So these are the few granularities which usually in every organization we have. Then there could be some specific to any industry specific dimensionality, right? For example,
Okay.
uh, so if we are in the oil and gas industry, or any industry which deals with some gas, or what we can say, some
Natural
fertilizer,
resources.
right?
Okay. Fun. Oh.
Yeah, for them UOM is very important because certain products are in different UOM. Certain
Hmm.
products are liquid which are in different UOM. For them UOM is very important, right?
Ah,
So
right.
there could be the dimension. Then we could have plant as a dimension, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
what else? What else we can think of? Profit center, obviously company code,
Mm-hmm.
right? Company code is different than plant generally. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Then anything, maybe basic dimensions we have covered. I will input version and date. These are the dimension, basic dimensions. That's why. Okay.
Okay.
Now, generally, what happens is every cost center will be assigned to a specific profit center within the S4. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, when we are when we are booking up cost, okay, it will be by cost center. But when we are
Okay.
booking a revenue, there is a possibility that it is at no cost center, but at a profit center level. Now that
Mm-hmm.
depends on the how structure is defined within the S4. Correct?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So that way we have to work upon. Okay. Now
Mm-hmm.
let's create these dimensions within this particular. Okay. So when I will click on add dimensions, let's say I'm adding is account dimension. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There are options: add a new dimension table, add existing dimension table, don't add a dimension table. Okay.
Okay.
What is add a new dimension table will do? We will create a new dimension. If you remember, there is a public dimension tab was there within the modeler. Let me show you. This is a modeler, public dimension tables. So
Mm-hmm.
if I will create a public dimension, and if we will create a new dimension table, it will come as a new line over here. Or there
Okay.
could be already a existing account dimension, so I can use that as well. Okay. So I'm using that already created one in this model. So what that means is that particular dimension is a shared dimension. Correct.
Okay.
So what happens generally is I will create one time my account dimension, and the same dimension I will share in my other models as well. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be also done through the other button. Right.
Mm-hmm.
When I want to create a new one, there's a dimension type. So this is also what we can say a question of interview. Okay.
Okay.
How many types dimension types are available within SSC and how each works. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there is an account. If I will, there is a possibility that I have account as an account type dimension,
Mm-hmm.
account as a generic dimension. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now what is the difference between those two?
Okay.
Okay, let's do one thing. Okay, this is the question for you, Swapnil. You have everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you have to do? Account as a generic type dimension and account as a account type dimension. Okay,
Okay.
I'll just give you the hint. The hint is it is based on the structure how the dimension will be created. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that you have to see. I just given you the hint. You can just check once, and you will be able to identify the difference not through
Mm-hmm.
like this. You have to create that, and then you have to go into these tables, and then you have to
Mm-hmm.
search for yours, and then only you'll be able to see. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I am creating account as an account type dimension, and I am making it. Okay.
Means here I have the option of making it public and private.
Sorry.
Public and private. As in, is written na make public.
Mm-hmm.
So do I have an option as in to make private as in assigning it to a specific model?
It's not like that. So okay. So in a SSC terms, public means anyone can use it.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's in a way you are correct that I can use it in a different what we can say different model as well.
Hmm.
But if I am a developer, I am
Okay.
creating two models. Even though it's a private one, I can
Hmm.
use it into the other model.
Okay.
Okay. So so what make a public means it will be allow. I mean, now there's already name exist as an account, right? So what we can do, uh, let's do paste touch. underscore account. Okay. Now I have just made it as a generic type and then
That
public.
account will be, I guess, standard
Which one?
account, only account.
Account. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have that
Mhm.
already. That's what they are
That is
saying, that
standard,
we
I
have
guess.
already
Mhm.
account type dimension. So yeah, not sure why the not coming. There was some 8,000 tables when we came on there. Okay. Now I'm adding it. Okay. I can give description also. Account. Now this is done. Okay. I need to save the model, unless and until I'll not be able to see the other things. Okay. But this is just a dimension. The box is prepared for the same. Okay. Then I
Mhm.
can go from this edit dimension table and I will go into the table. Okay. Before that, let me just create some more dimensions. Uh, company code. Yes, tech company code. This is organizational dimension. Okay.
Mhm.
So making it public.
So, like, this is the first step of creating a model, no?
Yes,
Giving
very
this
basic
dimension.
steps we are doing right now. Yes.
Mhm.
And this is very mandatory steps as well, right? All
Okay.
the granularity. Obviously, I mean, if you want to add at a later stage, you can, but then the data will, I'll tell you what will be impact as well, right?
Mhm.
So there will be an impact on data. So it is not recommended unless and until you have all your dimensions listed out and signed off with customer. Then only I think we should start the development.
Okay.
I'll keep it set generic. Edit. So for now, I have added only these dimensions. Okay, later I can add more. Okay, then I need to
Mhm.
add a measure. And what is measure? So measure is nothing but your different uh,
This kind of numeric continuous value.
I mean amounts, yeah, numeric values. So what say when we could have a price as a measure, we could have
Mhm.
volume as a measure, we could have amount in local currency,
Mhm.
amount in GC, group currency, right? All
Mhm.
those could be a measure. Let us create amount in local currency. Okay, there's a these are the very important what we can say. Okay, these are very एक
These are like a, basic
मिनट, 2 मिनट.
steps, as in.
हाँ, आयो बार. Bye. Sorry, Swapnil, I got one call. These are
Okay.
very basic settings, okay, but these
Mhm.
are important because your other data and everything will be stored
See
in this.
what I'll be doing in it now. So I'll be seeing the source system. I'll be seeing the settings which is applied in the source system. Same thing I'll be replicating it in it now. As in, if my source system is saying it's decimal and like two kind of decimal points are considered, that same setting I'll be doing in it.
No,
Nothing
no,
new.
no, not
No.
like that. So let's say in S4 you have source, but when we come about planning, we're talking about planning. Okay, what happens? Like their volumes could be in 4 decimals, right? So in real time scenario, generally what we usually do is we will give 7 decimal itself. But in a story, you still have that setting that you will only be visible till 2 decimals or 3 decimals. Okay,
Right.
but for the real time scenario,
Mhm.
let's say the price is 23.43567.
Okay.
Okay, and the volume is 123.35, right? Then
Mhm.
you need to have this multiplied by this. So
Okay.
what actually the number is of 5 digits, right? 5 decimals.
Mhm.
We need that setting at a 7 decimal, but when it will be visible to the client in the story, it will be at an two decimal only, because when you will save
Mhm.
it as in 23.43 and 123 point, let me increase some decimals over here, right? So 123.35, correct? There is a
Mhm.
difference now. Now imagine this is only one line item, and there's a
Mhm.
multiple line items in the multiple combinations within your model. It
Mhm.
will impact your at an aggregation, and it will not tie up the data, right? So
Right, there will be a mismatch.
exactly. So the reconciliation will not be completed in that channel.
Uh,
That's why we prefer 7 decimal itself. Allow system to post it 10 7 decimal. Let them show
okay.
till 2 decimal only. Right?
Mhm.
Okay.
So intake as in it's max, and while showing it, it will be like a kind of restriction, like two decimals are allowed
Yeah, as
at
per
the
client's
storage
requirement.
layer, I guess.
Yep, whatever the client's requirement. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, then this is aggregation type. So if you want to show your data summed up, right? What are the
Mhm.
requirements? So this is very, I mean, this you can do later in the okay, even in the account dimension as well. This is the aggregation type. If you want to see this measure as in summed up, okay, it can be summed up at a total level. Okay, exception aggregation is nothing but instead of sum, you want to see the last one as in at the total. Okay, so generally what happens, Jan we have, then we have Feb, then we have March. Okay,
Mhm.
so and we have Q1. So if Jan is having 10, Feb is having 20, March is having 30, at
Mhm.
Q1 what we usually see, we usually do a sum, right?
Mhm.
But this is for volume. Let's say there's some balance sheet item.
Okay.
Okay, in the balance sheet item, we usually what we usually do is we usually show the last as an at an year quarter or parent node. This is a parent node and this is the base node.
Balancing item as in you can take a example as in like asset liability or like how it goes.
Yes, those which will be part of, for example, any current, non-current assets or liabilities. Okay,
Mhm.
the data entry or at accounts payable, I mean receivable or payables data entries. So one
Mhm.
leg will be in P&L and the other leg will be in balance sheet, right? So
Mhm.
when we are deriving the balance sheet data, okay,
Mhm.
and we are creating a balance sheet. So generally, what happens at Q1, it should be always the March data needs to be represented over that.
Okay.
Okay, that is the standard structure of balance sheet. So when we say the P&L, it will be from for example, 1st January to 31st December of 2025. When we
Mhm.
say the balance sheet for the period of December 2025, that means we will show this balance sheet of this only.
Mhm.
Why in balance sheet we usually show the reciprocal effects already. That means over when we comes to Feb in balance sheet, it will be already 30. In March, 30 plus 30, so we will showcase the YTD data already.
Mhm.
And that's why we are showing only the last data, because this already consists of Jan and Feb data,
Right.
right? That's why it is called a balance sheet, right? So
Mhm.
from functional perspective, I just told you. Okay. So I'll not give any aggregation type for now. You can play around this, how this works. I told you how exception aggregation works, right? If I will
Mhm.
do it as in last, so last data will be visible in my total ones, right? That
Mhm.
will be all different first quartile. So those things, if we need in any of the requirement, we can do that way as well. Okay.
Mhm.
And then we have unit and currencies. If let's say this is a percentage, I can give it in, I mean in unit, and then we define different units over there. Okay, so if I will say unit, you want a fix or from dimension. If fixed, then there are different units, measures, ums coming over here.
Mhm.
You see all your empty, metric ton, bags, all
Mhm.
those will come over here, right? zip my mass parts per mass, everything per hour, liter per hour, everything will come over here as an unit.
Whatever their system is following, we'll just use that.
Yes. So generally what happens, for example, this is the percentage I have given. Okay. Then when it's a percentage, if you needs to define the percentage of these two, okay, for example, this
Mm-hmm.
divide by this.
Okay.
So in percentage, what we will do, equals to this multiplied by 100, right? So this is
Mm-hmm.
18.99%, correct?
Mm-hmm. Right.
When I will define it as a percentage, I just need to do this. And in story, it will show me directly 18.99. So by default, multiplied by 100 will be done for on the all objects.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the benefit. And then of these measure will also be the fixed as in percentage.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And then formatting. So if you want a scales like thousand millions, I
Mm-hmm.
mean they are not very compatible with your standard formats, then you can apply this one. Right? Now this was the measure. Okay. Uh, I don't think so. We'll be able to finish modular part because we have all these things. Okay. These are
Mm-hmm.
the general settings of model level, right? So
Okay.
this is which model type this data and this model is a planning model. Okay. I haven't gave the model name. Let me just give me Boomit demo, right?
Mm-hmm. So that deciding of a model type as in planning and one more, na BI. So that will be done in initial steps, no?
Yes. So we need to enable this planning capabilities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these things to get that planning enablement done. Otherwise,
And
by
once
default,
this
it
is
will
done,
be
we
enabled.
cannot redo it, na? As in.
Yes, definitely. This is only one time. I mean, this is also once you will enable that particular preference, that will store you in the SSA system as it is. So you will not be able to redo that for that particular model. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we have to
I
be
would
very
like to cover
careful.
this in detail, Swapnil, because we need. I want to showcase you the work. I mean, how this works, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is
Right.
important. So let's not hurry up right now.
Right. Okay.
Right? Better to do it in a proper manner,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'll just save this. You see, I could see it when I will click on save. And it is asking where to save. Okay, I'll just save
Uh-huh.
it in my folder. So for you, first work is this.
Mm-hmm.
Next work is you have to create a model, right?
Mm-hmm.
One, create a model. Okay. Two, create public and private dimensions in a model. Then create different measures. Okay.
Okay.
These three you have to do for your model, Swapnil.
Mm-hmm.
And then fourth one, as I asked you, difference, find difference of generic type and account type, account dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You'll go into account type dimension. You will, as this is a dummy tenant, you will not be able to make it as a public dimension, but keep it as private. That's fine. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You need this task. Let me just share it over here as well.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions till now, Swapnil? Or any.
Public and private as in if I set it to private as in that particular specific model will be used by the single story and multiple stories cannot access that model.
No, it's not like that. Public and private
Okay.
means I told you, right? That
Mm-hmm.
public is everyone can use that. So if I
Mm-hmm.
have created this dimension as in public, you
Mm-hmm.
can create your new model
Okay.
and you can get that. Okay, let's create other one. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there's some issue with. I'm creating a new one. Okay, if I go over here, add an existing dimension table. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, so many account. What name we have given?
Vrastek underscore account. Not able to see it.
Haven't saved? I saved it. No,
No, you saved it. You have no changes. This warning displayed over here. I don't know what that
no,
means.
that means when I clicked on resave it, so
Okay,
it,
okay.
it was already saved. So it said
Mm-hmm.
no
So that's
change.
why it's saying no changes.
Okay.
So it is case sensitive.
No, 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 no. I forget.
Because suppose you were tapping in small lowercase, na?
No, 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 no. That is also fine. I was
Okay.
typing ways instead of rays.
Okay, okay, fine, fine.
My bad. Okay,
Okay, okay.
like that. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's the benefit of public.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before we leave, Swapnil, I would like to see if you are able to log in or not. If you are facing anything.
Okay.
Yes, Swapnil, the session is on.
Shekhar, I mean, we are about to
Um,
close the session. I'm just asked Swapnil to just log in into the link and whether to see whether he is able to log in or not into the tenant, which
Okay.
the demo tenant.
Yes, yes, yes.
session as in it's 9 to 11 or like 9 to 10 as in was the timing?
It depends on the topic.
So
Sometimes,
today we,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Please go on.
Sorry,
Please go on.
sorry, Shekhar. Yeah. So today we make it only minimal, Swapnil. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
generally, what we prefer is we don't want to bombard on you everything in one go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we are fine to take it till 11 as well, right? But
Mm-hmm.
what we usually do is
Mm-hmm.
initial stage, let's do gradually. And then obviously, too, maybe there will be sometimes when we need to stretch for more than 2 hours, right?
Okay.
Because I don't want to leave any topic in between. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
if the time is the constant, then we can increase that. But I mean, what I will prefer is the topic should be the main focus, not the time. Okay,
Okay.
okay, and
Uh, Here I'm trying to sign in, but I'm not able
can you please
to.
share your screen?
Just a minute. Mm,
Start रहे हैं ये start रहे हैं
I don't know how to
ऊपर जाओ थोड़ा सा
present now. How to share this? How to share the screen?
Do you have a smile icon at below?
Yes.
Besides that, present now screen button will be there.
Present now. Yes, I've clicked.
Yeah, click on that.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is a pop-up. You have to select entire screen, right side tab, a new tab.
Okay, sure.
Okay, and then click on the entire screen and then share button.
बट त्याच्याकडून घेऊया आपण
I'm
स्टार्ट
clicking it.
ठीक आहे.
Share button is not enabled.
It's enabled, but it's not responding.
Swapnil, if you can share your screen, that would be a better option.
That presentation is sharing, it's showing.
Oh, but it's not visible.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Wait, I think we need to make you a presenter, na?
Hmm.
I am also not able to make you presenter.
No, it's not required. You can directly present. See, I'll share my screen. Yeah. What I'm doing is
Is it?
there is an arrow button in the middle of this Gmeet screen at the bottom.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Present now.
Yeah, present now. So I click on present now, and it gives me three options. One is Chrome tab. I'm using Chrome browser. Second is
Mm-hmm.
window. Window means any particular window. And third
And
option I'm
entire
getting is
screen.
entire screen. Okay. So
Hmm.
I select entire screen.
Hmm.
Okay, and in between that entire screen tab, there is a screen visible. You have to select that screen, and then you
Okay.
have to click on share. See, that share button is disabled, no, because you have not
Mm-hmm.
selected that screen. That's
I
why.
not
I
selected
think
that screen, right?
Swapnil, you have shared your screen now.
Yeah,
Right, right.
now it is coming. Yeah, correct.
You able to see?
I can see your screen.
So this is the username and this is the password, no? Right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Just a minute. Sorry, we could
Okay.
not authenticate you.
Just give me a minute. This is the one. This is-
I think
Can you use user ID and password instead of this? The
Okay.
other one?
Okay, fine, fine. I'll user ID.
but Bhumit, are two people logging in at the same time? Is it allowed?
Yeah, yeah, I think that should be fine.
Okay, okay.
Save.
In
Please.
response, if it doesn't respond to send message.
Okay. Uh, just give me a moment. Try this link. Perfect.
Now it's working.
Bookmark this thing. Okay. Bookmark this as an SSE so that
Hmm.
you will have this link always. And yeah, just go to the files once. I just want to see if you are able to see your folder and all. The below button. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. You see, right? Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions, Swapnil? I think.
Fine. Understood. So there's a create model, and I'll do this. Create model, create public dimension model.
Okay,
The
sure.
way we have done over here, now the same thing I need to do in my folder, no?
Yes, yes. And I wanted to to do that properly. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I know you'll not be able to create a master data, but at least you can create add some dummy members over there. So if
Okay,
you can just go to the arrow of that account over here only.
okay.
Okay, okay. Under the version, you can see the version.
Mm-hmm.
There's a arrow button. Yeah, there only. No, no.
Okay.
Yes. This will open your version dimension. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Version by default you cannot add. There's a different mechanism to add the member, but in account and all your created dimensions, you have
Mm-hmm.
that facility to add certain members and check what properties are there. Okay. I mean, I
Okay.
left up to the you. Otherwise, we will definitely cover everything in detail in the next session. Okay. So I
Okay.
just give you in the next session we will cover all our model preferences, all master data, property and hierarchy creations. Okay, those
Mm-hmm.
things we will cover, and if time permits we'll also cover security.
Okay.
Okay, SSA security. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Very
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks,
Okay,
Shekhar.
thank you. Have a good day.
Same to you. Bye.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, Swapnil. I'll be sharing the video
Bye.
link on the group.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Mm.